Let's make magic.
Hey, we're live. I just want to thank everybody for coming or that who will come. This is a launch party for Sins of the Fae. It is something that I've been working on for quite a while. And I just want to welcome two of my guests here tonight. We have Smiling Bandito.
Hail and well met. How's it going tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. And Mr.
Hello?
Hello. Oh,
Did he cut out?
He cut out, so we're on our own. That's how this goes sometimes.
Well, I'm Michael Bancroft. I'm the creator of The Lucent. And yes, hello all. I guess we're going to have to wait for the...
I'm here.
He's here. He's back.
It doesn't last long, but it cuts out like every 20, it's just sort of, it's annoying.
That's okay.
That never happened to me before.
We're seasoned professionals by now. We know how to roll with it.
I know, right? It's amazing, honestly, that the internet is working through all this crap, like the COVID and the riots. I mean, everybody's, hibernating at home, and this internet has got to be being pounded.
You would think the internet can't get COVID, and yet here we are.
I know, it's amazing. So this is my story, Sins of the Fae. I guess we'll kick it off. We can just look at the quick trailer that really doesn't work anymore because we've redesigned the character.
Oh my goodness.
But we're going to watch it anyway.
Make it full screen there. Nice.
There we go.
There we go. Really well done.
So that was, like I said,
Fae.
Absolutely. So, as you can see, the character's been redesigned. Because we...
I saw some of the pages that Xevious was working on, and he was showing her and her grandmother. Is that the other character?
Yeah, I have those down here, basically.
That's
those
awesome.
are one of my. This is one of my favorite pages. I don't know. Can we flip that? I don't know if we can make that bigger. Let's see.
Yeah, this is one we looked at on our stream, didn't we, Bandito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had an impromptu when Xevious came in and was just hanging out.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, you saw some of this in that other page, but you can see now there's like a silhouette. So she's walking, she begins to have this power like swell around her. And then she this is her like heroic moment where she is taking control of the power that she's always had, but has always tried to run away from. She's facing her past that she, didn't want. She didn't want that destiny. She didn't want that past.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally, faces it, and this.
Well, I'm just gonna say, chicks with holsters are sexy, and
Oh no, man! Do you remember Walking Dead?
Yeah, exactly.
That girl with that she has that southern accent.
Yeah. I can't remember her name, but
and she'd walk around with a holster. Oh my god, yeah, that was great.
Well, I mean, what was the first one that I ever saw? Was like, was it Lara Croft, right, for Tomb Raider?
Absolutely.
Oh, we need Poland in here for that.
Yeah,
you'll never get him. You'll never get him to shut up about it.
You know what I remember about Lara Croft was my friend. The very first Lara Croft, there was a code that you could have that would make it so that you could have like limitless heal packs or whatever, and he would do that just because whenever she applied a heal pack to herself, she moaned. So you press the heal pack, you just put it on turbo. She's like, and I'm like, really, dude?
That's hilarious. That was back during a time when the graphics weren't quite so as sharp as today either. So
yeah, I mean, he didn't care. It was polygonal. Yeah. It was, it didn't look like a woman really. It looked more like like a Minecraft troll, but he was still into it.
People,
Well,
we had to work with
thankfully-
what we had.
Yeah, thankfully, we don't have that problem with Sins of the Fae because the artwork in this is amazing.
Yeah, the artwork is it's twofold. The line art is by a guy named Joe Sanchez, and it's at Hosan Art. I'll throw that up in chat real quick.
No, I got it. You keep talking.
Okay, it's at Hosan Art,
Yep.
and he's really good. He's fantastic. He's got a lot of different styles. I told him I wanted a hybrid between manga and a Western style because I'd been reading a ton of like comic books and manga to try and acclimate myself to visual storytelling. I've been a storyteller for a long time, but visual storytelling is a completely different animal. So I had to learn how to do that, and I'm still learning how to do that.
Oh, I just realized I'm not going to be able to put up links. Am I? No.
Okay, I'll do it. It's no big deal.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You need some wrenches there.
I need some mods.
I know. I gotta do stuff. Let's.
Remember when I had that problem as well and I couldn't figure it out?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on?
It does take a
Yeah, so I
while
have
to
to
get
do that.
used to the whole streaming thing.
Well, I had it for a while. We had a thing called Insider, and I was doing okay, and I was able to do that pretty well to handle everything. We were starting to get up in numbers and everything, and every time I wrote, I'm a writer more than I am a spokesperson. So when I wrote, like 1,700 people came to the site, like it got huge bumps, and
Wow.
so it was like cool, and I was doing that, but then I work like 60 to 70 hours a week, so when it came time to choose between, okay, do I make money or the comic, it was like, or the Insider and the comic, I was like, okay, I gotta let this go. So I did the worst thing possible. Apparently, I hired my cousin, and my cousin didn't have any interest in everything, so he kind of let it go to crap and let people on that ruined it, and we had to burn it.
Hiring family.
I'm going to share my screen here so that I can go
man.
through this and you can answer questions as we're going through.
Oh, Xevious is here.
What?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ooh,
Hail
good
and well
morning.
met.
I
Xevious.
forgot about that baritone voice of yours.
Yeah, that's what I'm rocking. Especially, yeah. We worked all night on this thing, and I took a nap. It went a little longer than expected.
No worries, no worries. I didn't know if you were going to make it at all, so I thought we should get started.
Okay.
And B Lord is nice enough to host, but our chat is fairly empty.
Okay.
Potentially, we could jump over to your channel, or we can continue on here, whichever you would like.
Okay. Well, I've got a couple of interesting guests. I've got Robert Meyer Burnett lined up.
Nice.
That'd be fun. He's a neat guy.
Yeah. I watch his stuff all the time.
Yeah, me too. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. I don't want to interrupt you guys. Do you want to switch it over to somewhere else? It'll take me a few minutes. We can kind of carry on for a bit.
Why don't you get it set up and we can carry on here? Michael has to go in 15 minutes or so.
Yep, about then.
Okay,
Cool.
So why don't we keep going as we are here, and we can, carry on the party once you're ready to go.
Okay, sure. Yeah, roll.
All right, man.
Sounds good to me, man.
Okay.
So,
All right, so yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
well, I'm just looking at your book here, and I was saying, how sexy women with holsters are, and you definitely have delivered. Josenart and Xevious both have really put some good time into this, and it really shows. Plus, you got dragons, demon dogs. I mean, we got everything a person could be asking for. So tell us about this character. Who are we looking at here?
That is Nikki Caramore, and Nikki is she's a Viking witch of the Holy Oak Coven.
And this is also Nikki, right?
Yep, that's a Nikki. The first story is mostly about Nikki. There are 5 main characters.
Mhm.
There is Nikki Caramore, her 2 daughters, Adira and Kaylee Caramore, and then there's a guy named Charles J. Walker who goes by CJ, and then the last character is a person named Knack.
Nice. And what's her role in all this? She's the main character, and you said that she is an unwilling participant initially.
Well, what she is she's a mom, a single mom of two girls that's taking care of this big plot of land called the Sanctuary. She's a vet and like a herbologist, and she's in a different realm. Like she's actually think of like if you consider like an older fairy tale, you have the happily ever after with like a princess or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she meets a fairy prince, goes to a fairy realm with him. Then he disappears for no reason, leaves her with two girls. She has to find a way to make a living. So she plants a seed that was from her old world.
Well, it sounds like she has the exact same problem that we all have. You know, do we go out hunting monsters and creating adventures, or do we have to get down to business and just find a job?
Yeah.
Very familiar with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Especially,
Oh, go for it, Michael. Especially, am I the only one here, or am I the only one being kicked
Well,
out?
No,
This
I was like blank for a minute.
Are you hearing
I
me?
didn't hear you. I didn't hear Xevious. I didn't hear B-Lord. It's just me
Can you guys
hanging
hear
out.
me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, B-Lord.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's a Viking witch who got her happily ever after, but now she's got to pay for it. That's what it comes down to.
I gotcha. The magic on this, like the colors and everything, are amazing. Xevious, you're doing some magical stuff here. It is looking really, really good. And
So, I want to interrupt there because Michael, I appreciate, I haven't talked to you for a week or two, and I remember when I was on your stream a couple of weeks ago, you'd said you wondered, I was showing off what I was in the middle of working on, and it's all going to be twiddled with for the next couple of months, I imagine. And you said whether the colors are overcooked or not, and I know what you mean by that. Is I really like saturation. I think for me, I love the palette of the Lucent. You've got a really strict palette in a sense.
Yep.
I take it to the top. My stuff's very influenced by movies, actually, movie posters, and I'm probably more heavy metal magazine than I am comic books. I
love heavy
right.
metal. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on my palette, I guess, that we're using on this book.
Yeah, well, when I was asking that question, my main thrust was like, when do you know whether or not it's overcooked? Because you do have such a wild palette. How do you get to that point without stepping over it? And that's why I commented that I would never be brave enough to go with all these colors. There's another guy, Michael Arden, that we had on stream the other day, who's a bit the same, just like crazy color palette. And I said the same thing then. Like, I don't know if I would be brave enough to try and get all these together, because it is hard to get it to work. I think you guys have done it here. I like that people have influences from outside of comics. Like you're saying, heavy metal.
Yep.
Mine is more cinematic, I guess, cinematography based. But I dig it, man. I dig it. It's right for the story.
Okay, interesting. It's a good answer. I mean, I'd love people to evolve this community a bit where we can openly discuss stuff, even critique each other. Because I mean, like, I did art school for 4 years, a design degree, and we weren't allowed to say nice things. That was basically the rules. So someone comes up with something, and you've got to say, okay, whatever, good job, I suppose. But here's what I would do different. And yep. I learned the hard way. Lost a few friends along the way about a year ago. On Twitter, you don't want to critique anybody because people have got thin skins.
I went to design school and we had the same thing as well. It was just big red markers and pretty harsh words as well.
Nice.
It's always, I think, when you're critiquing people, you just got to kind of feel them out of it first. Are they open and willing and ready? Because they might, take it as an attack.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you have to feel people out, and you want to do it, I suppose, privately, really.
Yeah. Look, me personally, when I started really focusing on like what color, like how do I want to do my colors?
Yeah.
One of the things that was really non-negotiable for me was I wanted to have an element of cell shading in there. That's just what I like. That's how I like to work, and it works for my story. So it's I see in your book there's a lot more gradations in it. It's a lot softer in the in the colors, like the Terminator lines, for example. They're very there's a lot of gradient there from light to dark. It's not how I would do it, but like I said, each story has its own has its own look to it, and that's a good thing. If it fits your story, then that's what you need to do. And this is a story about the Fae, about the fairies and witches and dragons and stuff. And so it's kind of almost on the border of psychedelic. Is probably a good place to be.
Well, and that's just it. Like, the art needs to have a voice too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if everything is just the Marvel standard, then the voice kind of gets muffled out in the choir that is Marvel. So if you really want to have something that stands out,
you don't want to be Marvel standard right now, though.
No.
Or DC standard for that matter.
No.
Have you seen the new Wonder Woman?
Oh
no,
God,
I haven't.
Oh, man, you got to see it. It's a sight to behold.
guys, I put that on Twitter. I think yesterday, the day before, with Steve Trevor is now Steve and Trevor.
Yeah,
is that the one you mean, right?
Yeah,
and it's
So you got Steve Trevor is now a guy named an Asian named Steve and a black guy named Trevor, and they're in a gay marriage together. Mm-hmm. And but on top of that, that's kind of the direction that everything is going. But on top of that, the art is just
brutal.
It's actually bad Tumblr art. Like, a lot of the times, it's quite good Tumblr art. Good for Tumblr. Like, it really has. They've nailed that Cal art style. But this one is just, oh boy. Anyway, let's not.
No.
Let's not derail into something horrific.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it interesting. What I thought was what I still find funny is that SJWs believe that Asians are a somehow malnourished or misrepresented race. They're 60% of the world, people.
It is funny when you think about it on a global scale, isn't it? Like how they're everyone's sort of so American centric, even here in Australia. It's all kind of, we focus in on what's happening in America as sort of that's the kind of the blueprint for what's happening around the world, and it just couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, well, it's like, they're already underrepresented. What? Have you actually gone to China or Japan? They got plenty of stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone ever accused SJWs of being logical or accurate in what they're whining about.
I never accuse them of walking outside their basement unless there's some sort of virtue signaling happening.
Mm-hmm. So how's the campaign coming? I'm new to the party here.
Well, let's take a quick look. We got. Did I mute myself? No, we're good. All right.
We can hear you.
You've met your goal, though. I admit you made a very low goal. Is that because everyone's already paid, and right now you're just looking to make sure it gets printed, or what are we looking at here?
That is because no matter what, the book's going to be made. I make enough money to create the book myself. If I have to put it on my shoulders, that's what I'm going to do, and just bring the audience with me as I go. And like that's the point of it. Is I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you the best product that you can find, and if you can find better, go for it. But I'm going to bring you the best thing that I can make. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing I know how to do is to provide stellar customer service, a stellar product. I'm a professional storyteller. We've got two of the best artists on the planet. So everybody that I've shown always says that this is high quality stuff, yada yada. And I think the work speaks for itself. And so the only the matter is exposure. And so it's just a matter of hustling every day and getting the messages and talking to people, doing the shows, doing whatever. And, getting the number up there. I mean, that's all I can
let's
think.
Take a quick look. If our time here has made a dent in furthering your world domination for Sins of the Fae, we'll just give it a quick refresh and wait for the potatoes to warm everything up.
Low line up. That's the
Yeah.
potato quantum internet.
What do we got? Hey, look at that!
Nice one.
I got
16
another
backers.
bagger.
That's how you do it, man. One backer at a time.
One
That's how it
backer at a
works.
time.
Hey, Xavier, forgive me if you've already explained this, but obviously the fae is a traditional word for fairy. So is she a fairy, or are the fairies bad guys? What's the deal there? Because it says sins of the fae.
I'm going to pass that one over to Buddy. He's
Of course, yes, buddy.
the expert on that stuff.
Yep.
She's not a fae. She's a Viking witch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Her daughters are changelings. They're half fae. The fae are not really the bad guys. There's a whole unseen enemy that sort of wants to kill the fae, and they want to block humanity from interacting with the fae. And in order to stop that, the fae themselves, what I call highborn, which are basically like gods, consider them like fae gods, went and tried to do something special. And when they did something special, they ended up screwing up the timeline. And so there's a that's why it's called Sins of the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Very cool.
That's awesome. And we'll just do a quick rundown of the tiers that you got here for those who are going to be checking out this video later for certain. We'll go to the featured tier here in a second. But you got yourself a digital copy. What made you go with that? What made you decide to do a digital copy? Because sometimes there's a bit of what's the word? Some people are for it, some people are against it.
So we did. I mean, this stuff was in the works for a few months, and we really locked it down at about honestly 5-6 o'clock this morning, saying, "Okay, we've got to bite the bullet."
Late.
Projects are never finished; they escape. Right?
They're abandoned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They're either abandoned or they escape. Yeah.
But I think like we want to go same as the Lucent, same as everybody here. We've as Comic Skater 1%, less than 1% of the market, and I think that if we get ripped off, if there's a lot of talk about digital getting bootlegged, spread around. I think that's it's a loss leader even. If one guy steals it, someone else likes it, and that person happens to know a guy who knows a guy, maybe we get out there. So, and at the point once the digital file's done, it's free money from there on.
Yeah.
So I think digital personally is a good idea, and at that low price point, because we've seen. I think we looked at Raging Golden Eagle with a great looking campaign. I think the digital is $20,
right?
Which to me seems a little bit high. But we can walk away if we sell 10 of these. That's it's $100 we didn't have to work for.
Yeah, that's 20% of your goal right there.
Sure.
And I've always thought if you don't want people to rip off your product has to be good enough that they want to hold it in your hands. So, add things that you can't do digitally, like whatever, if it's cards or a certain type of cover or something that makes it so that it's sexy on your shelf. And when you do that, you're basically taking the pirater out of the market. So, but what the pirater does is free advertising. So
that's the way I see it.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got our digital copy, and the other thing I was noticing is these little symbols. I noticed that you got a different one for each tier. Do they actually mean something, or are they just fun? No. Did you say that you actually put together like an alphabet or something?
I did actually, yeah. And again, Michael asked me about this. I mentioned it. We built a full
font,
a full alphabet, and then I found it easier in our workflow to actually have a font.
Nice.
And the font is called Nikki. It's live across Adobe platforms. So we were talking, and so we've got that. I want to get as fast as we can, and I'm sure we'll make it to the bookmarks. I want to actually have a key, so you can have the bookmark with the alphabet to cross-reference.
Oh, how cool would that be? Oh man,
that's the first use I've ever seen of a bookmark that actually would make really good sense. Because I don't use bookmarks. When I was reading a lot novels, I would just fold the page in. I don't, I'm not a purist or anything. So I mean, as cool as bookmarks look, I don't know how much utility they have. But that actually,
Yeah.
especially
Well
if
done,
you're
guys.
continuing, you're going to be using this language a lot. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
it's manga inspired. Now, the letter forms are not supposed to look Japanese necessarily, but I looked at there's 3 prominent runic languages, just on Wiki even, and I took that and Klingon and English, and tried to make them somewhat recognizable but
Right.
unique.
Yeah.
So that's like Nikki's tattoo. That's the N on the top. That's the
Right
letter.
here.
Yeah, that's the letter A, which has
This cover
it's a bit.
A.
Yeah, no, that's the N.
This is the N.
Yeah, so it has elements of the letter N inside of it.
How come you don't have A on cover A?
Oh, because it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah,
It's okay. Well, if that's the worst thing we got to worry about, you're doing okay.
yeah, it's a bit seat of the pants, to be quite honest. That's the way I think you have to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and then if you scroll down, the next cover, the B cover is the letter B.
All right. Okay. See, we can make sense.
It's a bit of a B,
Yeah. No, it looks good. It looks good. So we have $25 cover A, and I don't know what shipping is. I can't go into it.
Sorry, guys, I do have to leave. Pre-organized scheduling conflict. So good luck with the book, boys. It looks great, and yeah, I'll see you around the traps, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks,
Cheers,
Michael.
Michael. We'll talk to you
Thanks
later.
for showing up, man. Have a good one.
Of course. See ya. Bye.
Okay, cheers.
And we can just finish this up real quick and head over to Xevius's channel, right?
Sure. How soon? I'm going to set it up right now. What time do you guys want to go on? Right away?
Right away. Sooner the better.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, because there's no reason to be lingering over here. This channel isn't known.
Sure. All right. Sins of the Fae IGD launch party with Buddy Lord, Smiling Bandito, and a few mystery guests. Crossed fingers. Okay.
We'll make it work.
All right. Let me.
Appreciate you guys doing this for me. No matter what happens. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, man. This is fun. This is fun.
I figure you guys can get along. Let's go.
Yeah, of course. So we got our cover A, and we got cover B. What do we have a bigger picture of this? Like we need to have.
I just put it in. If you actually refresh.
Oh, if I refresh.
I put one in the main body beneath the other cover because somebody asked for that, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, I can do that.
Let's see here. Ooh.
Yeah, it's up. Go up. You want to go back up?
Go up. Gotcha. So
Beneath that one, and then
there we go. Oh, that is super cool.
Yeah.
I love it when you get a cover that's telling you a piece of the story and just like what's going on. Those are always the best Marvel covers. I mean, lots of them had to do like the whole team ensemble and all that kind of stuff. But that was just showcasing the characters. But every now and then, Spider-Man was actually the best for this because they would always have some scene that you knew was happening in the comic, and you'd be like, what? Did Green Goblin kill Spider-Man? How can that happen? And so, that's why you get the book. So stuff like this is exactly what I look for in purchasing a title. So very cool. So we got cover A and cover B. We know which one I'm getting. An original paintings by Xevious.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
Do you want to hold
12.
on?
How big?
Till we get to over to my channel? I'm about.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that.
Just about
Yep,
ready.
that's fine.
Okay, and then we got original pinups by Joe Sanchez.
Mhm.
Yep.
Interesting. $250. Wow, that's going to be. And how many? Only 5. So that's going to be our whale perk. Is that what we're looking at? And paintings as well. Same price. Very cool.
People said they wanted original art, and Joe does mostly digital. So
Right.
I was like, well, why don't we, with some deliberation between Xevious and I, we were like, well, he says he can do, 11 by 14 Bristol. Why don't we get him to do a nice, sexy Nikki?
Mm-hmm.
a few of those, like different pose each time. So it is an actual original each one. It's not going to be the same one each time. And that'll be an interesting piece of memorabilia or IP for someone to hold.
Nice. Yeah, definitely will be really good. And this is the kind of stuff I think that drives interest in campaigns, especially if your artists are doing them while the campaign is going and can post them up every now and then.
Yeah, definitely.
Then that's how you get through your lulls, right? Original artwork continuously going up. So that's awesome. So we'll just take a quick look at the feature perk here, and we'll close off and head on over to Xevious' channel. Feature perk, both covers.
I just tagged you guys. It is ready to roll.
Nice. Perfect. So we got both covers for anybody who's wanting both of those, and it looks like it's a little bit discounted as well. Not discounted here, but discounted as a collection. Yeah, 25 each. So get yourself a deal on that. That's fantastic. All right. So I guess we're ready to go.
Okay.
So for those who watch this at a later date, thank you very much for checking it out. And yeah, hail and well met.
Okay. Yeah, let's scoot over there. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Cheers.